Disclaimer: this video is purely for educational and perhaps entertainment purposes. The creator of this video is a left-dominant surgeon, hence any statements made during this presentation pertaining to left-handedness, no matter how intense, are ineligible for prosecution, as they can be considered self-deprecating humor. Every once in a while, there are moments in an ophthalmologist's life where they sit back and reflect on the path they have chosen. But do you know who spends more hours than most in reflection, self doubt, thinking, overthinking, and contemplating? The left handed ophthalmologist, the oddity, society's sinister, fondly also known as lefty. Approximately 10% of the world's population is left dominant, an overwhelming minority. So it makes sense for almost everything in this world to be designed for the right-handeds. From the early days of study tables that leave the left hand dangling, to the gel pens that would make even the most beautiful handwritings look like a busy doctor's prescription. And even the computer mouse used to make this very video, to first noting the right eye findings, then the left. The lefty seems to be challenged from day one. Closer to home, why does hand dominance matter in medical practice? The percentage of left-handed surgeons across all specialties roughly mirrors that of the general population. Try to find a percentage of left-handed ophthalmic surgeons and you'll probably end up with blanks. Let's see, how many in the audience are left-handed? 1%? 2%? Surely the number cannot be greater than 5%. So where's the challenge? Well, for starters, your residency program will reveal the initial struggles. It is hard enough to learn even simple steps like tunnel creation. Watching a right-handed surgeon finish it off in one sweep sometimes ends up confusing us, because contrary to popular belief, performing an activity with your left hand may not be as simple as mirror imaging the right side counterpart. Studies show that the intrinsic neural mechanisms could be different. So the principle of monkey see, monkey do doesn't always work. The process seems more like monkey sees, tries to replicate by mirror imaging, fails miserably, has self-doubts, spends a significant time analyzing, and then manages to do it reasonably well. A couple of extra steps. Nothing seems strange here at first, but looking closely reveals a sideboard being made at the 3 o'clock position in SICS. For an expert bimanual surgeon, it doesn't really matter. But for a trainee lefty, there is almost always the additional responsibility of hydrating 2 sideboards at the end. Not a big deal, but worth remembering. Rex's direction. It is inherently more intuitive for a lefty to proceed clockwise, and unless you have been taught from day one to do it counterclockwise, rescuing it in case required can be a challenge for the assisting surgeon, who, by the way, will almost always be right-handed. Then comes my personal nightmare, PMMA IOL implantation. The inverse S design is a boon for swift right-handed manipulation, but ask a lefty to do the same, chances are they will hesitate a bit. For the same reason that the other steps are challenging. It is not intuitive. The challenges do not end in the operating room. While it is pop culture that lefties are usually more creative, have the ability to think out of the box, and have traits of lateral thinking, what usually gets ignored is the part that they are likely to be more emotional and critical of themselves, have a higher chance of feeling isolated, and take a little bit longer than others to learn. In other words, they need a softer touch. Maybe that is why even in politics, the left wing is described in gentler terms, such as believing in equality, fraternity, and progress, while the right wing is slightly more aggressive in authority, hierarchy, and order. Lefties are also known to have a good sense of humor, but like the creator of this video, there may be exceptions. How does the future look for lefties? Bright, of course. If you do just one thing, persist. Perhaps the more appropriate answer is persist longer. It is an undisputed challenge, right from finding left-handed teachers or right-handed teachers who are more empathetic than usual, to assisting a right-handed junior once you make it, to being more compassionate of your own self all throughout. No wonder the world sees so many prominent lefties, because they have been through the grind. Another reasonable but significantly more difficult method of developing competency: become ambidextrous. Eliminate the factor of handedness, and you have now taken your game to the next level. It is doable by starting with simple steps like irrigation aspiration or forcing yourself to use both hands, such as vectus and dialer nucleus delivery. Can you practice ambidexterity outside the OT? One of the most effective ways to strengthen your non-dominant hand is by brushing your teeth. So, mom was right after all. If you're a gym rat, add an extra set of exercises to your non-dominant side. The possibilities are endless. Being left-handed brings a lot of bumpiness and unpredictability. But that's where the fun lies. Because remember, you're left-handed. You are wired to have fun. And to the right-handed colleagues, I request you to join me in my petition to rename the connotation OS, Oculus Sinister, to Oculus Specialis. Because we aren't really sinister. We are just wacky. Just a little bit.